like and subscribe. What common thing screams I make poor financial choices? That new Camaro after your first military paycheck. We've been dating for 3 months. Of course, let's join bank accounts. Get into debt to pay for a wedding. Wearing designer wear, but struggle purchasing anything else. We are boiling the Guxy purse for dinner. When there is an old sofa, broken fridge, and new Audi on the drive. Seen a few people buy nearly all infant/baby/toddler cloths new from expensive brands. The most insane, or $350 Canada Goose winter jacket for a 4-month-old. Jacket barely covered the winter, and then was too small. Oh, and nearly everyone I know that does this needs their parents' help each and every month, to cover rent or mortgage payments. For $350 I would jam myself into the Canada Goose coat after my 5-month-old outgrew it. Getting another pet, when you cannot afford the first one. Getting another baby, when you can't afford the first one. Having a really nice car, that you can't afford to put gas into. I'm a real estate agent, and I work leads with my lender. We met this lady about 4 months ago who had bad credit and low income. We helped her identify what she needed to do to get better credit, and she said she may get more money soon. We follow up last week. She got a new higher paying job, but when he ran her credit, he saw she just purchased a $64,000 car. He told her things look better income wise, but the car payments take up pretty much all of your debt to income ratio. She said, I just cannot win. I gotta get to work somehow. With that kind of car, I bet she gets to work real fast. My lender said the only house she will get approved for now is a gingerbread house. Buying the latest everything. I have a coworker who struggles to pay rent and such, but buys a new iPhone every time they release a new model. Edit. Lots of justification posts minimalizing something that every financial advisor tells you not to do. The iPhone thing was an example. I have seen other things clear down to someone replacing a year-old set of rims because a new style came out. All while being on the edge of eviction. Buying a second car, convertible Corvette, after getting laid off during the pandemic. Shout out to my neighbor. Participating in a MLM scheme. I don't know that it's all that common, but my bank account has been telling me I make poor financial decisions since at least 2019. Spending way too much on dating. Every time my girlfriend and I would do something together, I would end up spending at least $200. When I tried to talk to her about it, ask why we couldn't do something together that did not cost so much money, she looked me in the eyes and reminded me once again, because I'm a prostitute, dumbus. Rolling car payments into your next car. I can't count how many people I know who traded in perfectly functioning cars they still owed money on because they needed something newer or outgrew their current car. I know someone who was paying $900 a month for a Hyundai Tucson that was listed for like $25k. It ended up getting repoed. It is called rolling negative equity, and it is a bad idea, indeed. I did this once. When I was several years younger, I bought a brand new 2014 Jetta Sportwagen TDI. 9 months later, I was at the VW dealership, and the new version, this time called the Golf Sportwagen, was out. I asked if they had one, and they did. And I bought it on the Sportora fully loaded TDI sale. Since it was so new, I paid MSRP, plus the taxes got rolled in. They gave me $21,000 for my Jetta Sportwagen, that I owed $27,000 on, which meant that I financed in $6,000 of negative equity. And that is how, even with a decent interest rate, I ended up with a $715 car payment on a I'm Volkswagen. I made out lucky, because VW bought back the Golf Sportwagen during the diesel scandal, and VW Financial cancelled the remainder of the loan balance, but I will never ever do that again. Relying on pawn shops every time you're low on cash. I knew a woman who regularly pawned some jewelry, then got it out on payday, only to pawn it again a few weeks later. It's a vicious cycle. I got caught up in it 4 years in my early 20s. It all started because my roommate went to jail for 30 days. I was a cook living paycheck to paycheck, then suddenly needed to cover the other $400 of rent. I went and got a payday loan. Next month when I got paid I paid it off, but then was once again a few hundred short. I made poor spending choices all along the way, but every other month I was going from one payday loan place to get a loan, just to pay off the other payday loan place. Back and forth for quite some time, until I reeled in my spending, and started making more money. I dated a guy who always impulsively spent his paycheck. If rent came a day or two after payday it got paid. If it came a day or two before payday it didn't. It didn't occur to him that he had to budget his check to meet expenses. His mom had always covered everything that he didn't pay, so he never had to think about what his check needed to cover. After a while his car didn't run, and he couldn't fix it, and he had to move out of his apartment because he didn't pay rent. Getting into a new hobby, and by week 2 you have all the latest and greatest professional grade gear. The dangers of having both ADHD and a disposable income. $4,000 rims on a $2,000 car. We live in a very cheap, neglected apartment building, but someone here owns an Audi. With a cheaper car, they could live somewhere with hot water and no rats. When saving for retirement means dumping huge sums into the lottery. Leasing expensive cars while you have a low income. People who eat out for every meal. I had a coworker who did this, but then complained about never having any money. She would eat out for breakfast and lunch, and go down to the Walgreens for a midday snack. Rent a center. I did an internet install for a woman who just got a new laptop from a rent-to-own. She was so happy with the deal. She excitedly said she got it for $100 a month for 36 months. I was like, ma'am, I just bought a laptop for $400 from Future Shop. Those overpriced clothes/purses that just have the brand plastered all over them. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. https://www.youtube.com/watch V = R0HX4A5PATE. This commercial is so legit. I know multiple people like this. The worst part is, when they ask, why I drive a Civic. Maybe so I don't have a panic attack at work, when a collection agency calls. We know that wasn't your mom, we can hear it leaking out of the $200 headset you purchased, even though work provides headsets for free. Expensive clothes complaining about a lack of money. Weekly overdraft notices from the bank, along with a stack of boxes from Amazon orders. Having too much month at the end of your money. Lots of posts on the relationship subs about buying a house with a boyfriend or girlfriend then breaking up. If you think marriage is too big a step, maybe buying a house together is too. My cousin who has declared bankruptcy multiple times always seems to have a new car. This probably isn't as common anymore, but 15-20 years ago, going into GameStop and trading in a pile of games for cash, which we all know GameStop pays pennies for most trades, and declaring intent to spend it on cigarettes. I saw it weekly when I worked there. These people stole those games. I worked there for a short while too. Nearly everyone who traded in a stack of games had very clearly stolen them. Going on holiday to your timeshare apartment. Filing for bankruptcy, then immediately buying a new car with rims and new bolt-ons. I work with this type of person who also complains about having to work and always trying to leave. Paying a dropshipping online class. Upgrading to the next phone on release. I know that most people who can afford this are set, but it just seems so frivolous to me. sticking with something like cable that costs $250 a month when you don't use all the things you're paying for and could easily reduce your costs. Having a significant amount of credit card debt. Rent to own anything. People that look at income by salary. You should always look at income by disposable income because you can be earning 80k in New York City and have less money compared to someone earning 15k somewhere else. This is very similar to what my teacher taught me. You're not rich by how much you've earned, but by how much you've saved. You've been visited by the ghost of a very important man. Pay your respects by liking and subscribing, and he'll grant you 3 weeks of good luck.